So, for the last several weeks, I have been working on things that are outside of my comfort zone. I've been trying to meet up with the parents of my children's friends and setting up play dates and getting to know the parents of the other kids at my daughter's school. And a lot of them have kids that are the same ages as my other kids, so we've all been like going to playgrounds and meeting up with people and making friends, and it's been really awesome. Actually, it's been really fun. I like the people I've met. Like, you always hear about like parents are catty, and I haven't actually met any catty parents yet. Although come to think of it, it would be kind of hard for them to be more catty than the parents in the strip club that I started working at when I first started dancing. But I mean, I've been really happy. I've met a lot of really awesome people, and my kids are having fun playing with other kids, and I'm happy for them. I really want them to grow up well socialized. I want them to have friends. I want them to be normal. Normal is good. I like normal. Normal gets a bad rap these days, I think, in a lot of pop culture, but honestly, normal is not horrible. I like normal. Normal is a very comfortable place to be. And so I've been trying to give them a normal life, and I've been working at that, and it is not it's not normal for me. Um, a lot of people say that a lot of people have this idea that an introvert is somebody who just doesn't go out and socialize. That's not true. An introvert is somebody who gets kind of worn down by socializing. An extrovert is somebody who gets kind of amped up by socializing, energized by socializing. So, the idea, the way they usually ask it, I guess, is, if you go to a big party, if you're an extrovert, the idea of a big party kind of energizes and excites you. And if you're an introvert, it's like, well, I'm going to this big party, it's probably just going to wear me out. And, I think I think a lot of people think that that means that introverts just don't go to the big party. And that's not really how it works. I know one guy who's introverted who has fantastic social skills. Like, for a long time, we just kind of assumed he was an extrovert because he's like always, just very socially fluid, very good at reading people, very good at interacting with people. Um, he gets worn down by it. He gets tired out. Like, he needs to take a break and recharge sometimes, and that's an introvert. Me, I'm not an introvert. I'm a recluse. I'm a hermit. I would happily lock myself up in my room and play video games and like watch YouTube videos and not do anything for like days and days on end, and not go out and see another human being for days and days on end. Um, and that's not necessarily very good for me, so I don't do that. But for a long time, one of the things that kept me at a healthy level of social interaction with other people was the strip club. I'd go into the strip club, I would talk to people all night long. It would be this very loud, very crowded party environment. And I would go home and I would sleep for, 10, 12 hours. I was just worn completely out. And, a lot of that, most of that was just the fact that it was very physically strenuous work. Some of that was just the fact that it was really like talking to people and meeting people and socializing with people. It's exhausting to me. Um, and it's healthy to do that. Like, it's healthy to talk with people and socialize with people at least a little bit. Even if it does tire you out, it's still a healthy thing to do. And I know that I feel better when I've been around people that I consider friends. Like, I spent many years of my life not around people that I would call friends, or not having anyone I trusted enough to call a friend. And it's really cool having friends. Friends are really awesome. I didn't really there was a long time where I just didn't have friends. And so once I met my husband, he made friends, and then I started making friends with his friends, and I started having these people in my life that I could actually trust not to stab me in the back. And that's a really cool thing. I know I'm stating the obvious here, but it is. It's a really cool thing to have friends. Um, and so it's nice. It's good. It feels good to be around people who are not potential enemies. It feels good to be around people that you can trust, that you like to be around, and that you like to talk to. It's a really great feeling. And I mean, when I had kids, I started, especially when I retired from work. I had kids, then I retired from work. I ended up just spending a lot of time at home with the kids. Going out was exhausting because, packing up everybody and getting them all into their car seats, it was too tiring. And so, I had friends, but I never saw them really. And now I'm meeting all these new people and trying to get to know, oh, you're so and so's mom. Yeah, my daughter talks about you. And like you have those conversations, and it's really wonderful because I'm meeting lots of other parents who have kids that are about the same age as my kids, so we've got a lot of shared experiences, which is awesome. I was talking with one lady. She's got a bunch of kids. They're about my kids' age, like step ladders. 1, 2, 3. And midway through the conversation, she just stops and does a head count, like, okay, there's one, where's the other? Oh, yep, there he is. And it was so awesome because I do that in conversations. Because when they're running around all over the place, you have to keep half an eye on them, and you have to be kind of semi-aware of their location at all times. But at the same time, you're trying to have a conversation. So sometimes you just have to stop yourself and, okay, there's one, and I lost track of you, but there you are. And so it's good to be around other people who do that. It's really a cool thing. And again, it's all been really, really good. It's just really, really tiring because it's so not normal for me to be, going out and socializing with people. And so I've been doing that, and it's been wearing me down to the nubs, and it's exhausting. And it's really happy exhaustion, but it's still exhaustion. And then, then I've been working out, and working out has been also exhausting. In fact, I've been in low level, like, I have lots of muscle aches because, sore muscles. And so I've been in pain for I don't know how long I've been in pain now. I've just been in pain for a while. I'm in pain right now. I'm gonna probably be in pain for the rest of the night, and I'll probably wake up tomorrow morning in pain as well. I love sore muscles. There was a point where, like, you reach this point sometimes where you don't have sore muscles, and it's frustrating because you kind of you have to figure out a new way to challenge yourself. Like, if you do all your regular routine exercises and you don't have sore muscles, it's like, great, now I have to think of a new exercise because I don't feel sore enough. And I would do that a lot when I was dancing. Like, I would hit these plateaus, and it's like, okay, well, I can do all my pole tricks and I'm not sore, and I can do all my stretches and I'm not sore. So what do I do with myself now? And I definitely do not have that problem right now. I hurt so bad. It's like I keep exercising because I want to get back into shape. But I hurt, and it's exhausting. Like, low level pain over a long period of time is just exhausting. And so I'm a little bit tired. And getting back into shape has been interesting because, like, when you're first learning things, when you're first learning, pole tricks, contortions, whatever, it's exciting because you hit some new benchmark, and it's like, oh my gosh, I've never done this before. It's so cool. And now I'm here and I'm trying to get back into shape, and it's like, I used to be able to do chest stands. I don't know if you know what a chest stand is. It's basically you put your weight down right on this part of your chest, and then you flip your legs up behind your back. It's like a really, really extreme scorpion. And you flip your legs right up behind your back, and you kind of rest your feet on top of your head or on your shoulders if you're really, really flexible. And, your feet are just kind of dangling around here. And I tried doing one a while back, and I was leaning against the pole to support me, and then I also had a strap around one of my ankles to kind of pull it forward even further so that I could kind of keep track of it. And I couldn't even get to the point where I could see my feet. Like, I remember the first time I could see my feet, they were like low here, they were right up here in my field of vision, and it was just so exciting because I'd been working toward that, but I didn't know it was going to happen that day, and then it did, and it was so cool. And then I went to do a stretch, and you know, my foot is supposed to be, honestly, my foot's supposed to be right here in front of my face, and it wasn't. And it's like, it's weird, it's a little frustrating. So now I'm working to get back to where I was before, which is not as exciting as getting there the first time. When I quit dancing, I remember I used to have these dreams about contorting. I would be asleep at night and I would have these dreams that my feet were right here in front of me, and I would reach up with my arm and I would pull my foot forward and, you know, work at getting a much deeper stretch than before. And it was just, I loved those dreams so much because it was definitely what I wanted to be doing. And in the dream, of course, you know, you have all these bodily sensations that you remember. Like, if you ever dream about falling and you have this very real sensation that you're falling, imagine a dream where you're stretching and the stretch just, it's deeper than it would be in real life. Like, you reach the point where I've never gone this far. Okay, now we're reaching dream levels of unreality, but you feel it. And oh, it felt so good. And now I can't even get my foot to where I can see it. Even when I stretch back as far as I can. So I've been working on that. And that's a large part of why I'm so sore. Like, I did a bunch of my old pole tricks and I've been trying to get back into them, and I lost the you build up a certain it's not a callus, but a certain firmness on your inner thighs when you're sitting on the pole. Your skin gets used to that kind of abrasion. And I went to sit on the pole and I had lost that. And so it pinched me, it kind of bit into me. And it was like, okay, well, I need to get that back. So I've been working at getting that back, and I'm getting pretty much there. But, you know, I could do a lot of my old pole tricks. Like, it took some work and it took some practice and it took a few weeks, but I'm getting back to the point where I can kind of I can't do the really strong ones. Like, I used to be able to just deadlift myself up into the Iron X on a pole, which isn't the same as an Iron X on like bars or anything like that, but or rings. It's not the same as Iron X on rings, but there's a thing called an Iron X on the pole. I could just lift myself into that. In fact, I could climb up a pole, grab on, and then just lift myself straight up into the air, which was really, really impressive and really, really cool. And I love to do it because it made me feel like a badass, and I am so not able to do that anymore. And so I've been trying to work myself back into that kind of shape, but a lot of the pole tricks, like a lot of the basic stuff, I can still do, which is good. But the stretches are gone. Oh, and so practicing those has just made me so very sore. And so that's tiring. And so between stepping outside of my comfort zone socially, which, by the way, I feel like a complete wuss for being so worn out by that. It's like the dumbest thing in the world to be tired out by. Like, this is stuff that normal people do every day, and it exhausts me, but and it's fun. I don't want anyone thinking it's not fun. It's really, really fun. Having play dates for the kids is just awesome, and I'm really happy that I'm finally doing it because I knew I needed to do it for a long time. But now I'm tired. And then I exercise and I ache all day long, and I'm hurting like all day long, and it's like, okay, now I'm really tired. And then I looked at it, it was like, okay, I've got to make a video, and I've been really working on videos plural, in the sense that like I've figured out this video editor, and I've been fussing around with that and trying to put together videos. And I have the 2 videos that I did over the last 2 weeks, which I wasn't planning on doing back to back. I lost my voice for a couple weeks and I couldn't talk. But I've been figuring out all of that. But as far as just sitting down talking videos with, you know, ideas and thoughts and like anything that's going on in my head, or even stripper stories, like anything at all, I want to sleep. And that's pretty much the only thing that comes across my head when I'm trying to think of video ideas. It's like, okay, I want to lie down with a hot pad on the sorest muscle that I have, which changes from time to time, and I want to sleep more than I have been sleeping. A lot more. So at this point, I'm heavily considering just switching back to caffeine instead of, you know, giving up the decaf for a while and just going over to caffeine for a bit and seeing if that doesn't perk me back up. Caffeine withdrawal for me usually is like sort of an interesting trip through the world of panic anxiety. Like I'll start feeling super, super anxious, and then it takes me a little while to realize, well, it's because I'm in caffeine withdrawal. It's not like anything bad is actually going to happen. I'm just withdrawing from caffeine. Which is the reason that I'm not drinking it now. It's like, okay, well, given how many cups of decaf I down in a day, I'm probably getting at least one full cup as it is. With the way my schedule's been lately, I think I'm just going to switch to regular. Powered by caffeine. I might do that because I've got a lot on my plate these days. And it's all good, and I'm really happy about it. I feel like quite a wuss that, I mean, our society doesn't tend to smile favorably upon housewives and stay-at-home moms. It's kind of like, well, what do you do all day? Like sit on the couch and eat Cheetos? And I'm so exhausted that I'm just talked for 16 minutes now about how exhausted I am. I'm sorry about that. I'm sure that's not the most entertaining thing to hear, but yeah, being a housewife, being a stay-at-home mom, and making lunches for people, and trying to arrange play dates for your kids, and trying to get back in shape, and trying to learn a new language, which by the way, I'm probably just going to take a break on because I'm just so tired. And trying to keep on top of things, like trying to keep on top of life. I mean, maybe I'm just a wuss. Maybe I'm just not that tough of a person, but I'm not burnt out yet, but I can very easily see myself hitting a burnout spot at some point in the future if I don't work very hard not to. um, I have not been this busy in quite a long time. Doing like housewife stuff that I like. That's such a funny thing. Like I look at the way I was raised, and I had all these high expectations that were I didn't have high expectations. I mean, I nearly died a few times when I was young. I was happy when I reached 20 years of age and I was still alive. Well, 21 years of age, really. When I hit my 21st birthday, then I was happy to be still alive. But, everybody else, it was like, well, you could be a doctor. You could be, what are the other things people thought I could be? People thought I could be all sorts of these professional things. Like, why aren't you trying to be a CEO, Those are the expectations that they give to young women, young millennial women. It's like, oh, you can be a CEO, so why don't you go be a CEO? Oh, you can be a neuroscientist, so go be a neuroscientist. It's like, here I am being a housewife, which everybody looks down on as kind of like, well, why couldn't you do better with yourself? And I mean, I don't care about what society thinks, because I mean, I was a stripper for 8 years. Why couldn't you do better with yourself? Or I guess you just can't do better with yourself. Maybe working at McDonald's flipping burgers is too hard for you. I got a lot of that, and I didn't care then. And so now I'm a housewife, and it's like, well, I kind of don't care now. What society thinks about me is whatever. But I do think it's very amusing that, I grew up with all these expectations being piled on top of me of, oh, you could be a scientist, you could be a doctor, you could work in STEM, you could, you get the idea. You could be a mathematician. Forget the fact that I hate math and I'm really, really bad at it. You could be a mathematician. Instead, I'm a housewife, and even that is just wearing me down so much. It's exhausting. And it's like, well, in fairness to me, it is exhausting because I'm trying to do a really good job at it. And I'm working really, really hard to do a lot of things as a housewife that aren't necessarily simple things. It's not like I'm just, lifting a 5-pound dumbbell a couple times a day. I'm trying to get back into contortions, which is a little bit, it can be rigorous. But I'm still like completely like spread too thin just being a housewife. Like people really thought that I was going to be like a scientist or a doctor or something. Like this isn't enough work. Yeah. That's I can only assume that the people who want you to go into STEM, or want you to, be a neuroscientist, or want you to, you know, become an astronaut because women should be astronauts too. I can only assume that either A, they don't expect you to ever have kids, or B, they have no realistic understanding of what it's like to be a housewife and to actually put effort into it. Like, instead of just sitting on the couch and eating Cheetos all day. It's it's a very involved kind of job. It's a little bit tricky. But anyway, maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm a very lightweight kind of person. Can't take a lot of strain, can't handle a lot of work. That's possible. That's entirely possible. I will not rule that out. But I've met a lot of other moms and they all look pretty tired too. I think it's just a lot of work. And I mean, the moms that I've met and the moms I've hung out with, I would say all of them. Like, I can't see a single one who hasn't been like just really going at it 100%. Like, even, I mean, stay-at-home moms work their asses off. And I'm not saying that we should get gold medals for changing diapers, but it's really funny to me that people in society just kind of look at it like, well, couldn't you do better? It's like, no, you can't do a good job as a stay-at-home mom and then go off and be, you know, a lawyer or something. I don't know. I mean, yes, there are lawyers who are good stay-at-home moms and stuff, but it's, I don't know. I'm stretched way too thin as it is. Um, I'm tired, but it's all good. I want to eventually have a video once I've got a little bit more progress to show what I've been doing with my stretching and my I don't know, with my stretching, my attempts to get back into contortions. I would not call myself a contortionist at this point. I would say that once upon a time I was a contortionist. Right now, I'm just a very, very stiff and not very limber person who's learning how to stretch again. I'm trying to kind of chart my progress out, so hopefully eventually I'll show you guys a video of, you know, where I started and how I eventually got back to, well, the goal is to get back to where I was. But anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Hello? Excuse me? Hi.